Hello everybody, it's Kaiji King 122 and I'm back with another video. And today I thought we'd do some more reading, but it's not gonna be fan fiction this time. I was gonna read some of my own original series. From those of you that don't know, I do have my own original series that is on Wattpad. It's called Goyo. It's spelled Goyjoi, but it's Goy. It's pronounced like Goyo, so there's a bunch of them in the series, so I'm only gonna read I'm only gonna read I'm only gonna read the first one today. So yeah. Before I do though, I do wanna say that this is heavily inspired by both Spectreman and Ultraman and other series. So basically, in this summary, I say this is a short story that will soon be in a collection called Goyo. This series about this monster named Goyo who fights other monsters, and the main characters go through bizarre plots, which is very much true. I put a lot of comedy in these. It's just like comedic. That was unintentional, but my readers actually think that's pretty good, so I'm keeping the comedy. Anyways, I'm gonna just we're gonna start. So yeah. It's called Enter the GDF. It's number 1. The cover has 3 original kaiju. Has the main character Goyo. That's my drawing of him. I made this cover in 2017, a year before my YouTube channel. This is Kerman. He's heavily inspired by Zone Fighter and all the other stuff. This is Peller. It's just a random kaiju. I have no idea. Actually, I took and looked at the Dragon Ball T-Rex for reference. So, yeah. Anyways, this is a very popular one. So I'm going to read the first one, and we're going to see what goes on. This is I think you'll like it. It is a quiet afternoon in Neo City. That's the name of the city, by the way, that this all takes place in. And everyone is off either reading or playing outside. But Dr. M, full name Sarah Ryland Carter Jr., and usually has an outfit consisting of a lab coat, black gloves, and a gas mask that covers her whole head. She also has long blonde hair underneath. Was busy working in her lab on a way to kill her one and only threat before Neo City would properly be under her fingertips. That one enemy is the monster Goyo that was captured in 1957, which was 70 years after a similar event occurred in Neo City, and has since then has always been a nuisance. So yeah, this is the little backstory, the little blurb I give. Yeah, basically this is the villain's name, Sarah Ryland Carter Jr. Though I may change it to Cartman. I think I changed it to Cartman. So it's Carter Jr. I don't even know why it's Junior because her mother's name is not Sarah. It's actually Nora. So yeah, I based her off of Inspector Gadget villain from the animated series. So finally, Vix, full name Vixen Charles Muchowski, is of Italian descent, wears a purple suit, and has a handlebar mustache. Yes, my dear Dr. M. I'm done with my latest creation, which I call Peller. Dr. M, I don't see it. It's over there by the table right behind me in a gray capsule. Dr. M then pointed at a desk behind her, and she was in a room surrounded by beakers, lab equipment, jars, and a single monitor. Peller's going to destroy Goyo, and it will be glorious. Peller's an orange Tyrannosaurus Rex-like creature with green spots, blue eyes, green fingernails, toenails, and a strange jagged spike at the back of Peller's head. Well then, shall I release Peller to set destruction on Neo City, Dr. M? Yes, pull the red lever labeled switch. So yeah, this is they create kaiju a lot, but Dr. M's actually not the main villain. She is the main villain, but she also doesn't create everything. Sometimes it's just kaiju just show up, or there's just an issue at this city, and then my characters come and deal with that, And then Goyle comes and he just kills everybody, and then there's a bloodbath. My stories do contain gore, by the way, so turn away if you don't like that. Though these don't have cursing in them, but I do have stories that do have cursing in them, but they're not like on Wattpad. Well then, shall I release Peller? Oh, where said that? Fix and pulled the lever, but the capsule landed in Elmite Town, 25 miles north of Neo City, instead of the estimated Neo City. As a result of this, Fix thought Dr. M would be mad, but instead Dr. M thought it was better than she ever imagined. Guess it landed somewhere where it wasn't supposed to, Dr. M. I can get it back here if you want. No, it's right on plan. What do you mean? I mean, a little kid could theoretically pick it up if they saw it, because it is in a backyard. Precisely, Vix. So, yeah, Dr. M's a little bit twisted. I made her twisted. After a while being in the backyard, a boy saw it and decided to pick it up. As he looked at the capsule that is as long as an adult's arm, and saw 045 engraved on it. The 045 is actually very important because I'm actually going to have a prequel series like sometime later in this series, and it's going to have 44 short stories in it, so it's going to lead up all the way to this one. So you also saw a picture of an orange Tyrannosaurus-looking creature, and above the picture were the words Peller. The boy then picked it up and brought it to his mother. David, you know that's not a toy. Oh, come on, Mom. It's not a toy. I found out in our backyard. Yeah, I made a couple of grammar mistakes. David, just put it back. Fine, Mom. The boy then took it back outside, but when his mom wasn't watching, he brought it up to his room to take a closer look. Instead of looking at it straight away, though, it actually was in his room for 3 days. Then one afternoon, he got home from school and decided to have a closer inspection. He looked at the capsule again, and this time he noticed a red button that had above it the word open. The boy then curiously pushed the button, and then instantly Peller grew to an enormous size. This destroyed the house in the process, and Peller began destroying the village. A news reporter of 20 and white hair then tells a story as everyone's now afraid of what could happen next. Hi everybody, I am Artie Gunner, coming back with you some more Channel 4 news. Just today, a giant rampaging creature called Peller has destroyed several buildings here in Elmite Town. According to several witnesses, the creature was built like a dinosaur and was orange. As you can see, 7 people are presumed dead, and even more have been hospitalized. Now we go to Josh Carey as he talks about a skateboarding dog. Meanwhile, more attacks are happening all around Elmite Town, and now there's only one organization that can stop this madness, and that is the GDF, Goyo Defense Force. It's basically like the force from like the original Ultraman series. What do we have left? We have like 7 minutes left. Yeah, this is a little bit long. Boss T, who is almost bald, has a white beard, blue eyes, and wears a white suit, is currently giving a speech about what's going on. Now, there is another monster threat going on, and before we decided to depend on Goyo, I went to see if we can stop this thing. An employee named Charlie Garrison, who wears a typical black suit and has black hair, raised his hand. Yes, what is it, Mr. Garrison? I don't get that, but why don't we just let Goyo take care of Peller? That is very good, but that is a very good but stupid question. You've all known Goyo ever since the 60s, but I've seen Goyo almost die back in 1959. And when that happened, I thought it would be a whole lot safer to see if we can stop something before the NCDF does. Neo City Defense Force. They are, the City Protection Force or something like that, so. But, don't they hate us? Well, kind of, Charlie, but that's only because they've been around since the 1700s, and we were just formed 5 years ago in 1961. Now, any more questions, Mr. Garrison? No, sir. I got one, the man who said that was leaning back in his chair. Well, then what is it, Roger? Roger is in his 30s and has ragged clothes and never seems to follow work ethic, which is dressed cleanly. And he has been on parole several times. Roger also has some type of addiction of alcohol, and usually hides it from everyone else. He also barely shows up to work and has been identified as a smart aleck. You see, I've been doing some digging around, and I recently found out Goyo was originally a bad guy and destroyed Neo City back in 1950. Roger, that was a different Goyle, and if it wasn't for the NCDF, then we wouldn't be here right now. So what you're telling me is there are two Goyos? Actually, we believe there are several more still alive, but because when we bombed the island, you could still hear a roar, but there's nothing there. Spooky. Yes, but we shall be very grateful because back in 1957, before the GDF was even a thing, Dr. M created a monster and it was destroying Neo City. But then Goyo came and killed that creature, and from here on out, Goyo has saved us multiple times. Now, everyone, I want you to help the NCDF ward off Peller. Wait a second, where is he? Charlie, first of all, we don't even know it has a gender. And second of all, it's heading towards Neo City. Well, at least that's according to NCDF. Also, everyone, which includes Charlie and Roger, go see if you can help the NCDF. And with that, the meeting is now adjourned. When Boss T isn't looking, Roger takes and drinks some alcohol. I'm sorry. Alcohol in a canteen. You know you shouldn't do that. I don't care, Charlie. Peller's inspired at Neo City, and the NCDF are preparing to stop Peller. But while that is going on, Dr. M is in our lab talking about what is going on. This is going to be great! And so what if people are dead? They need to know the pathetic, worthless lives do not matter whatsoever. Vixen looks at her suspicious. Even her minions are just like, what's wrong with you? The military then began shooting planes at Peller and firing tanks. But then Peller emits a toxic green gas from its mouth, and that once it touches the buildings, tanks, and planes, it melts them all up. Things then look dire as Peller continues blowing up buildings and melting various tanks. That does it. I'm sending out Goyo, and then maybe he can deal with Peller. Craig wears all red with the matching red cap and also has green eyes. Yes, sir. I'll send out Goyo immediately. Excellent. Goyo's then released on a Neo City. Goyo is a green Tyrannosaurus with round white eyes and a single round pupil. Goyo also has black fingers and toenails, 2 darting horns, and a bumpy back. Goyo first roared at Peller. I'm sorry, Goyo first roared a Peller. Then Goyo ran up to Peller and knocked him clean on the ground, and then when Peller got back up, Goyo picked up Peller and tossed him into a building. Peller then got up a few seconds later, but then Goyo shot his eye-beams at Peller, and then Peller fell back down to the ground. Meanwhile, Dr. M was finding the fight go down on a monitor, and she wasn't all that impressed. Stupid Peller! When are you going to start using your abilities? I think we should just wait, Dr. M. Fine, but if nothing happens, I swear, Vix, it'll be the end of you! Peller and Goyo then both shot their eye beams and had them collide, and them, when Peller was overtaken, Goyo won. But then Peller used a surprise attack and emitted a gas cloud from his mouth. And when it touched Goyo, it actually hurt him. And Goyo started bleeding heavily, and blood also started squirting on buildings and on Peller. Afterwards, the GDF decided to take Goyo to the medical wing. And the GDF members were discussing what to do in the boardroom. What do we do now, boss? I'm sorry. What do we do now, boss? I don't know, Roger. Maybe Goyo needs some help or something. Then a man with a lab coat and a white hair approaches Boss T and Roger, as well as several other members. By the way, I actually changed Roger's spelling because it's actually spelled wrong, apparently, in the first few stories. So it's spelled a D instead of just a G in Roger, so I messed up. Attention, everyone. I have a robot prototype in development, and I know you probably all need help, so I'm willing to test my prototype out. Boss T then looks at the scientist and ponders the idea. I'm Professor Mark Kasky, and I've been working on my Project K for a while, and I figured now would be a good time to test it out. Well, my name is Boss T, and while I like your idea, we are in a dire and drastic situation, so I'll only give you the okay if you tell me more about this Project K, and I would like it to be able to run in an hour. Why the short time? Because Peller would continue killing more and more people, probably without any remorse. Also because I don't know how long it will take for Goyo to be healed, and that is the reason, Mr. Kasky. Tell you what, give me 3 of the best engineers you got, and let me explain the project to you privately, and you got yourself a deal. Boss T and Mark then shake on the deal, and the 2 go to discuss it privately. Then while walking down the halls, Mark suddenly explains the idea. Now, my robot is called Kerman, and it has a small list of abilities, such as antenna beams, a single ray gun, teleportation, voice manipulation, speech, and as a last resort, I've given an ability to explode. Of course, most of these are in the testing stages. Okay, I'm sold. So get your robot ready in an hour. Then Mark goes to the lab to get his robot ready while Boss T goes back to talk to his group. And then Dr. M displays a disruption during the few TV station and tells him to give up. Greetings, everyone. I am Dr. M, and as you can see, Goyo's dead, and I am the one with the only kaiju. So if you do not want anyone else to be harmed, then give up and send $1 million as well as Goyo's heart. And also, I've decided I want Devin Winchell, aka Boss T of the GDF. I want his head, and I also want him financially crippled. Now I will talk to you again when you feel like giving up. That's a reference to Destroy All Monsters, because there's actually like a scene where the Keylocks are like, we will talk to you when you feel like giving up. So like, I threw in a bunch of references. Is it ready, Mark? It should be, and I have got to say I am seriously impressed with the results. Who would have thought I'd actually get to use my robot to kill a monster? The only complaint is that he is a lot bigger than I originally built, Mr. T. Yeah, sorry about that, but we needed your robot to fight Kerman, so we had to supersize it somehow. The GDF then releases both Kerman and Goyo, where Peller is of current, and Dr. M challenges Goyo to kill Peller. All right, after all these years, I finally am going to kill Goyo. So Goyo, you have a friend, eh? Well, I'll have more fun crushing you now. Peller, move on! Peller then tried the gas cloud on Kerman, but it didn't affect Kerman. Okay, now I've thought about it. It wasn't a really good idea, and now Peller's attacks don't work. Fix? Yes, Dr. M? What is next on my agenda for a monster? I think Dunley is going to try a traditional lizard or something like that. Dunley is an American scientist in his 20s that usually wears a lab coat and has black hair. Oh, it's tradition. I think I'll talk to him. So, Dr. M, by the way, he actually, I'll explain after this. Dr. M then gets from her chair and goes down to the lab where Dunley is at. Dunley was the next idea for a monster. You know what, Dr. M? I'm sick and tired of frivolous monsters, and they're also a complete waste of time and money. What do you mean? I mean, it's pretty clear that none of them has successfully killed Goyo, and they get stupider every single time I do make one. That is the stupidest thing I have ever heard! It's true, I believe. Tell me one success story if there is one of any of our kaiju accomplishing something. Well, see? I'm done. I'll see you around. Fine! Kerman then kicked Peller in the face and then shot a beam from his ray gun at Peller's neck. Peller then started bleeding furiously, and gushes of blood covered buildings. Afterwards, Goyo and Kerman returned to the GDF. Good job, Mark. Thanks, Mr. T. We could use somebody like you around. Guess I'll stay around. Boss T then says something to Mark. Yeah, we are all okay except for Roger, who literally drinks on the job and does terribly at it 90% of the time. Hey, knock it off, Charlie. And Roger, because now it's celebration time. Everyone then cheers, but Dr. M is in her lab and is getting ready to get rid of Dunley. Dr. M, if you're done, I want to let you know Mr. Garrison is here. Grace him in. Send him in. Well, that was fun. Okay, how long did I read that? Jeez, 20 freaking... Okay, almost 20 minutes. Quickly, I want to explain. Dunley is like, Dr. M's, like, partner. And also the only other, like, bad guy besides Vix, but Vix doesn't really appear much later on. And Dunley and Dr. M do some stupid things, so they're kind of like a comedic duo, evil, mad villains. So I got inspired to make them from, like I said, an Inspector Gadget main villain from the animated series. Also, the Marvel Godzilla comics, Dr. whatever his name is, I forget. But yeah, also Charlie Garrison, he's an inside agent, so I thought that'd be cool. Anyways, that was it. Let me know if you guys think. Do you think I should do more of these? Do you think I should stop? Well, I got some news for you all. It doesn't matter what you think. I'm going to continue doing these because this was fun. It was fun. Also, if you want to read the entire series, I will put a link in the description for you all to see and like to read my my little series, because it is original. It is not fan fiction, and I do update it. I do make a lot of it very often, and that's all I have to say. The most recent one is like a 2016 one that I made, but the one I count that's actually good, that's recent, is Goyo 3D to the Max, which is a reference to Godzilla 3D to the Max, which was an unreleased film from 2007 that was going to be like 40 minutes long. But yeah, and it has a twist ending. So yeah, I'm gonna go. I'll probably make more videos. Probably not no more figure reviews for a little bit because so I'm kind of bored of those, and these are a lot of fun. So see you guys in the next video. Bye.